Now let's take a look and see how we're going to post our VE contract. First of all, make sure you're in balance by looking at the trial balance column. Click on your posting tab. And this is the money that's deposited in our account every month from Virtual Enterprise Center. It's the amount of our salary expense plus any cost of goods sold. And our particular contract for this is $132,224. And I can't quite see how many cents in 53 cents. So that's going to go in our bank account. It's a debit to cash. Calculate and post. Say yes. Now this has to be counted as a sale, is the other half of the transaction. So we scroll on down and we find where it says Sales Contract VE. Click there. It's going to be a credit, so we click on there and it shows in the box up above. And the credit posting is the same number that we debited to cash. So we put that number in, and again this comes in our account every single month once we get our contract to the Virtual Enterprise Center sent in. Calculate and post. Let's take a look and see if we're still in balance. Yep, and you can see our cash went way up and we are in balance at $367,877.11. Now we have some more postings. Now we have to pay our salary to all our employees. So we click on the posting tab and we find cash. And the credit posting is the net amount of the entire payroll. If you look at your spreadsheet there, this is where all this information comes from. On the spreadsheet, it'll show the net pay for all employees for the month is listed right here. So you put that in, it's about a little over $55,000. Credit and say yeah. So that's the first part. And now we have to pick up the salary expense. This is the gross amount of the payroll. So scroll down, find salary expense, click, and this will be a debit. We put it in there, and the amount for that is about $88,000 or $83,000. That's the total gross part of the payroll. So that's put in there. Click Calculate and Post. And now we have to pick up all of the deductions that come out of that. So if we look at our spreadsheet, we can see what for the federal and state and so on. Here's FICA, which is the Social Security tax. So we find that's a credit. It's a $51.66 and some change. And then we calculate and post. Now it says here you need to click on an account name. That's an error trap. I forgot to click on the account. Make sure the account name shows up in the account to be posted column. So there it is, and then it shows in the balance. I can still keep save it to the file. So the next one, we scroll looking for our next deduction, and it should be Medicare. And this is a credit, so this comes out and goes in the credit column. And again, this is a percentage of the total gross pay, so Social Security. So that's got the Medicare in. Now we have to find our other deductions, so scroll down some more, and we're looking for, oops, I went too far here, federal income tax. So we look at our payroll register there and see what is the total of the federal income tax for all employees for the month. This goes in right here. Calculate and post. Yes, more postings. Now the next thing we're looking for is state disability insurance. This it comes out of everybody's paycheck, and it pays in case you get hurt at work. So there's an account that's set up that comes out of your part of your paycheck every single month for state disability insurance. The next thing that we're going to pay is state income tax. So click on that account, go into the credit posting, and see what the deduction for state income tax is from our payroll register. Put that amount in, $4,825.02. Calculate post. Additional posting. Yep, we've got maybe just a little bit more to go, so find our next deduction here, and it is the state training tax, and put it in there. That's a small percentage, but it goes in there and also comes out of our checks. Calculate and print. Now let's take a look at the trial balance and see if we posted everything correctly. And we did. 395, 587.24. The debits and the credits equal each other, so we know we have that in balance. Now, believe it or not, we're still not done posting payroll transactions. The employer has to pay what are called payroll taxes. They have to match Social Security and Medicare and pay a federal and state unemployment tax. So the debit goes to payroll taxes expense, and this is the total of all of them, so put that in here, and then you see that's about almost $10,000 for this one payroll that the employer has to pay, not the employee, but the employer. So post that amount, and now we break down what the amounts of those numbers are. So we've got to scroll down, and again, these next two are called matching taxes. There's FICA or Social Security. So we have to put that in. Again, this shows up on your payroll register. Down at the bottom, there's a section there on that template that shows what all these payroll taxes are for you to make life a little bit easier. It also should match the amount of Social Security that's deducted from all of the employees' paychecks. Now let's look for the next account that's a matching one. That's Medicare. So click on Medicare and then put the amount of Medicare in at this point in time. And again, that comes out of your check and mine, and it also comes out of the employer. Has to pay that separately every single month or every single quarter to the federal government. So put that amount in there. Click Calculate and Post to put in that in there. Digital posting, yes. Now there's a couple of additional taxes that need to be paid that don't come out of your check or mine, but the employer pays. The first one is federal unemployment tax. So we find federal unemployment tax, we click on that. You can see it shows up in the account to be posted column. Always make sure it's up there, as we saw before. What happens if you miss? Then we put the amount of the credit posting in, and then calculate post. That saves it to the file. Another posting, yes, and we have one more to do, and that's the Medicare, the state unemployment tax. So that's called SUTA. So there it is, and you can see the state unemployment tax. Yep, that's the federal one. I'm sorry. Put that in, and put the amount of the federal unemployment tax in right there. Calculate and post. Another one, yes. And it looks like we have maybe one more to do. So let's scroll down here. This time we're looking for the state training tax, and we put that in. And that's another one that's matched, as you can see, $83.33. Calculate and post. Let's see if we're in balance. Take a peek, and as you can see, we're in balance at $405,544.94.